Start na ni. Good evening, everyone. I'm Nino Deo Joseph G. Sueco, and I am here to present the evolution of arts. The evolution of arts. What is arts? Art is a visual object or experience, consciously created through an expression of skill or imagination. The term art encompasses diverse media such as painting, sculptures, printmaking, drawing, decorative arts, photography, and installations. The evolution of arts. The first one is the Paleolithic Age of Man. The Upper Paleolithic Age of Man. Art from the Upper Paleolithic is often categorized into portable and stationary. Portable art are considered of small objects, light enough to be carried around, like figurines, jewelry. Stationary art was done at set locations, on stones or inside caves. One of example is this one, Las Caux paintings. Las Caux is famous for its Paleolithic cave paintings found in a complex of caves in Dordogne region of southwest France because of their exceptional quality, sophistication, and antiquity. Estimated to be 20,000 years old, the paintings consist primarily of large animals, one native to the region. The next one is the Neolithic era. The Neolithic era, new arts emerged from this era were weaving architecture, megaliths, and increasingly stylized pictographs that were well on their way to becoming writing. The earlier arts of the statuary painting and pottery struck. The example of this one is the megaliths. Megalith is a stone of Neolithic arts. It is a large stone that has been used to construct a prehistoric structure or monument, either alone or together with other stones. There are 35,000 in Europe alone, located widely from Sweden to Mediterranean Sea. The next one era is Bronze Age. The Bronze Age was characterized by the production of metal bronze, as the development of wide range of functional and precious metalwork and an increase of economic productivity, and its consequence emerged of skilled workers, many of them whom are involved in artistic activity, albeit of semi-functional nature. Ornamental and decorative design on helmets, body armors, swords, axes, and any other weapons became more widespread. The example of these arts of Bronze Age are hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphs are one of the Bronze Age arts. It is used in a system of pictorial writing, particularly that form on ancient Egypt monuments. Hieroglyphic symbols may represent the objects that they depict, but they usually stand for particular sounds or groups of sounds. The next one is the Age of Idealism, or also known as Hellenic era. Hellenistic era is the art of Hellenistic period, generally taken to begin with the death of Alexander the Great in 323 BC and the end with the conquest of the Greek world by the Romans, a process well underway by 146 BCE when the Greek mainland was taken and essentially ending in 30 BCE with the consequence of Ptolemaic Egypt following the Battle of Actium. Marble Head of Athena. Athena's head sculpture is one of the best examples of Hellenic. The goddess originally wore a helmet of marble or bronze. Added separately, the ears are pierced for metal earrings. The head comes for an over life-size statue that possibly represented the goddess striding forward arts. The next one is the Middle Age era. Medieval art was made up of various artistic mediums such as sculptures, illuminated manuscripts, stained glass, tapestries, mosaics, metalworks. Numerous artworks were made using these different styles, which went to have higher survival rate than other mediums like fresco wall paintings. Example of medieval arts was this one, Romanesque art. One of the medieval art of Romanesque art is the art of the Europe from approximately 100 AD. to the rise of Gothic style in 12th century or later depending on the region. The preceding period is also known as the pre-Romanesque period. The next one is Gothic art. Gothic art was a style of medieval art that developed in northern France out of Romanesque art in the 12th century AD, led by the concurrent development. Gothic architecture is spread of all Western Europe and such of northern, southern, and central Europe, never quite effacing more classical style in Italy. The next one is Re- Renaissance. Renaissance art is marked by a gradual shift from the abstract forms of the medieval period to the representational forms of the 5th century. Subjects grew from mostly biblical scenes to include portraits, episodes from classical regions, and events from contemporary life. The Last Supper. The Last Supper is a mural painting by the Italian High Renaissance Leonardo da Vinci, dated 14,905 to 14,908. The painting represents the scene of the Last Supper of Jesus with the 12 apostles, as it is told in the Gospel of John, specifically the monument after Jesus announces that one of his apostles will betray him. Its handling of space, mastery of perspective, treatment of motion, and complex display of humans. Emotion has made it one of the Western world's most recognizable paintings, and among Leonardo, most one of the Western world's most recognizable paintings and among Leonardo's most celebrated works. Lamentation of Christ. The Lamentation of Christ, also known as the Lamentation over the Dead Christ or the Dead Christ and variants, is a painting of about 1480 by the Italian Renaissance artist Andrea Magenta. While the dating of the piece is debated, was completed between 1475 and 1501, probably in the early 1480s. It portrays the body of Christ surprised of marble slab. He is watched over the Virgin Mary, Saint John, and Saint Mary Magdalene, weeping for his death. The next one is Baroque era. Baroque emphasized dramatic, exaggerated motion and clear, easily interpreted details due to exuberant irregularities. Baroque art has often been defined as being bizarre or uneven. The Immaculate Conception painting. The Immaculate Conception is a paint by Italian painter Giovanni Battista Tiepolo, 1696 to 1770. The painting was one of the 7 altarpieces commissioned in March 1767 from the Tiepolo by King Charles III of Spain of the Church Saint Pascual of Aranjuez. Then under construction, this way was originally an Alcantarine Franciscan monastery that was later assigned to the Conception nuns. Neoclassic era. Neoclassicism, also spelled Neoclassicism, was a Western cultural movement in the decorative and visual arts, literature, theater, music, and architecture that draw inspiration from the arts and culture of classical antiquity. Neoclassicism was born in Rome largely thanks to the writings of Johann Joachim Winckelmann at the time of the discovery of Pompeii and Herculaneum, but its popularity spread all over the Europe as the generation of European art students finished their grand tour and returned from Italy, their home countries, and newly rediscovered Greco-Roman ideals. The Death of Marat. The Death of Marat is one of the neoclassical era arts is now located in the Musées Roxas des Beaux-Arts de Beauchamp. It continues to remind people about the impact that the power of the word free press had on the French Revolution. Ultimately, the death of Marat is a true symbol of the French Revolution. The next one is Romantic Age era. Romanticism encompassed art of all forms from literary works to architecture. Mar- Masterpiece emphasizing the subjective, the individual of the spontaneous, irrational, visionary, imaginative, and transcendental. Romanticism rejected the style and notions of neoclassicism. One of the examples is The Wanderer Above the Sea, Fog. It is one of the famous painting of Romantic era, Wanderer Above the Sea of Fog. It is thought that the artist is glorifying the emotion of curiosity and hope, glorifying the nature. The man, also known as the Wanderer, is representing curiosity. Despite needing a walking stick, the young man was too curious and wandering the scenery. Thank you. That's all.